Hi everyone, Letty here. Welcome to Hashtag Crafty Goals 2024. I have a 12 by 12 paper pack smash. This is Echo Park, A Perfect Christmas. I've got several projects that I'm going to share with you today. Welcome back, everyone. So I'm participating in Hashtag Crafty Goals 2024. One of my goals is to smash large paper pads or packs. I have A Perfect Christmas by Echo Park. This is a brand new kit that I had in my stash. I think it came out maybe a couple of years ago. Here is just a little sneak peek. It comes with a sticker sheet and then some cut-aparts, lots of cut-aparts. I think there's 12 double-sided sheets. Here's just a little quick preview of the sticker sheet. I'm going to show you everything that comes in this kit, and then I'm going to do some projects. And so here is, or are the papers that come in this kit. Lots of really pretty, bold, classic Christmas colors, dark reds, dark greens. They did have a bit more black in this collection, but I certainly don't mind it. I think it looks great. Some little reindeer, some little holly berries and mistletoe and things. And then you've got these little cut-aparts. I like this look of the black and white on this. Got some snowflakes, some little Santa scenes with some little trees and wreaths, and lots of plaids in this collection. I really like that one. You've got some snow, some peppermint or stripes, and then you've got tons of little tags that come in this kit. That's something that I had not seen before in one of these types of kits. Some candy canes, some 3x4 cut-aparts, and then just another background with lots of sayings, Christmas sayings. You've got your 4x6 cut-aparts, and then sort of a monotone, tone-on-tone back or monochromatic. And then we've got some stripes or some strips, and then we've got some additional stripes here. And then we have our sticker sheet. This is a 12 by 12 cardstock sticker sheet. Lots of cardstock stickers on this one, including some strips at the very bottom, lots of sentiments and images. So again, this is A Perfect Christmas by Echo Park. I'm going to smash it. I did take out some of these bags that I picked up on clearance from Hobby Lobby. I've got two different sizes here. We've got a smaller one, and then we've got a sort of a medium-sized bag, and you can kind of see the dimensions there. I'll list both sides of dimensions down in the description box below in case you're interested in that. I did purchase them on clearance, so I'm not really sure if they still have them, but I will list those dimensions down below. So again, this is my Crafty Goals video. Okay, so the very first thing that I do when I smash a kit is I sort of go through the paper pack. So this one, I'm going to set aside the sticker sheet and the cover, and I'm going to kind of break down my paper selection so I can see what I'm going to be able to use for my first project, which are some decorated bags. So I'm going to keep this little pack or this set of tags. I'm going to cut those down. I also am going to cut down those 3x4 cut-aparts. So, and then there's some 4x6s as well. I basically am sort of pulling out my cut-aparts, separating them out, because I am one of those people that tend to use cut-aparts as cut-aparts. So I usually don't use the B side of the paper. I use the A side, which is the actual cut-apart. So I'm sort of just looking through and sort of trying to brainstorm what I'll do. I definitely want to keep some of these tags. And I think what I'll do is I can use them to add to the bags themselves. I can cut them down and then add some twine and sort of string them along. Definitely I'll be able to use these cut-aparts to decorate the fronts of the bags. These little ones will be perfect for the smaller bags, like the 3x4s will be perfect for the smaller bags. And then some of those larger ones will be great for the larger ones, the larger bags. So, and then I have this page of strips, and I do have the 4x6s. I think this vertical print might be the only one that I can actually use on the bags, because otherwise those 4x6s are horizontal and they're too wide, but I'm not ruling anything out yet. And then what I have left are the regular sheets of paper. These are regular double-sided. Some of them don't have an orientation difference. And then some have a specific pattern that are going like upright. So what I did was I was pulling the size of the measurements for my mats for the front, and I figured out that each one, if I put them together, I could actually cut two mats from one strip of 5-inch piece of paper, 5x12. So if I cut it at 5 inches, and then as far as the mat sizes, they both have that 5-inch sort of common denominator, like they both have 5 inches. And so then I figured I would just cut 1 to 8 1/4 and then 1 to 3 3/4, and that would be perfect to equal the 12 inches. And I would be left over with 7 inches by 12 inches. And so that 7 by 12, I could turn into additional projects. But my very first cuts are going to be those 5-inch mark and the 8 1/4 mark. So again, I'll list all of the dimensions down in the description box below in case you have some of these bags in your stash. All I did was take off, I believe it was 1/4 of an inch from the front of the cover of the bag, and that's what I'm going to use as my mat. So my next step is just to go ahead and take out my paper trimmer and go ahead and cut down those first cuts that we talked about. So I'm going to cut it at 5 inches. And then from there, I'll be able to come back afterwards and cut these down into 2 smaller mats. So I am taking the branding strip off of some of these, and then I'm going to go ahead and cut some of them vertically, some of them horizontally, just depending on how that pattern was going. And so I'm just going to cut these down, again, 5 inches, and then I'll come back after these first cuts and I will cut them down to the 8 1/4 and the 3 3/4 segments that will be the perfect size for the fronts of my bags. So I've already cut my first cut, which was my 5-inch cut on all of my papers. Now I'm going to go ahead and just flip it, and I'm going to cut it at 8 1/4, which is the height of the smaller bag mat. And then you see here, I get 2 mats from each of those strips. One's going to be perfect for the smaller bag. You see that? And one is perfect for the larger bag. It just worked out. This was serendipitous that it just worked out that both mats fit on one 5-inch cut, and it was just perfect. It was the perfect size. So I was super excited about that as I was kind of figuring out my measurements, that it was going to work out perfectly. So I'm just cutting all of my papers the same exact way you see here. Just kidding, each of those 5-inch at the 8 1/4 mark. And then what I plan to do is basically assemble the fronts of my bags, which I'll show you in just a second. And then what I'll do is I'll finish out some additional projects, and I'll do a full project share at the very end of this video. So I have those. Now the next step I'm going to do is I'm going to show you real quick. These are basically the papers I have left over. And what you can do is you can cut additional mats from this. You could cut another strip of 5 inches and cut and get 2 more, like the same combination of mats, one large and one small, just like this. And you would still be left over. You would still have a 2-inch strip left that you could use to decorate or for another project. You could basically do maybe some bookmarks or just, again, decorate, make cards. I'm going to next cut all of these cut-aparts off camera. And because I feel like I'm going to see what I have to work with, and then I'll sort of lay everything out. But I'm going to just first really quickly off camera cut all of these down, which I just did. So I have all of my cut-aparts cut, and I do have my paper mats ready to go. I did save all of my branding strips because I like to use those little pieces of strips for the insides of cards. I have my 3x4 cut-aparts. One thing I did do was also cut some coordinating cardstock. Now I will come back before I finish gluing, and I will die cut or punch out some shapes just to really make my cardstock stretch. I am very much a frugal crafter, as you probably have already guessed. And so I want to use every little bit of either paper or cardstock, my supplies. So I've got those 3x4s. I sort of sort them by the ones that have sentiments and then the ones that don't. Now for these bags, it really won't make a difference, and you'll see at the end because I'm going to add a tag that will have a sentiment. I've also cut some mats for some larger cut-aparts, but again, I'm going to die cut or punch some shapes before I finish gluing those. I just wanted to show you that part of the process. And then I also have cut some mats for the smaller cut-aparts that will either go on the smaller bags or maybe even on some of the larger bags with some extra pieces of scrap paper. So you see there, I've already punched out on some of them, but I will go back and finish punching out on all of them. Now to get this little curved edge, what I did was I had a 1-inch circle punch. This is the easiest way that I know how to do this. You basically glue your mat down first, and then you just take it to the corner and you would just punch out, and it will give you the shape of the little like edged, the curved edges on that cut apart to match it. I did already cut up all of the little tags. We've got some really tiny ones that are about a 1-inch wide or high. And then we also have some that are about 2 inches high. You see here, I have several of these. These will be perfect for either size bag. And then what I did was I did group some that had like a smaller one and a larger one if it did not have a to from section on one of them, to make really large tags that will go for definitely the larger bags. So I've just cut everything up. I've prepped everything. I'm going to go ahead and prep my bags off camera. Let me show you, here's what I still have to work with afterwards. I'll do some additional projects with that. And I still have this one sheet of strip paper that I have not yet decided what I'll do with. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and make those mats for the fronts of my decorated bags. I'm going to just lay a piece of the paper, and then I'll layer up some cardstock and some cut-aparts just like this. I'm going to prep them, I'm going to glue them, and I'll come back in just a second and show you what those bags are going to look like before I finish off those final bags. But this is such an easy project. If you have some of those bags or you have some paper, I definitely highly recommend trying this. I have everything ready. here is my next step. So I've already glued everything off camera. All I did was layer up, again, the larger mat, the cardstock, and then the cut apart. And so on some of these, you see here how the cut apart goes all the way across. I did let it hang over just a tiny bit because I knew I had a little bit of wiggle room on the front of the bag. I did also add some scrap papers either behind my cut aparts or on the left and the right of the cut apart, just to kind of look like it had a band going all the way across. And then I also have the smaller little bag decoration fronts as well. So here's what it'll look like once I glue it. So you see here how much adding just this little bit of paper really jazzes up the fronts of these bags. I'm going to come back and add some twine and some tags to these, and I'll show you what the final bags look like. These are such an easy project. They're so easy, and you can use any size bags. Just measure the front of your cover. I usually take about a 1/4 inch off the top, or the width and the height. So I'm going to glue all of these down. I got 7 of the large, 7 of the small. Here's what I have to work with still. So I have a few cut aparts that I'll use for some additional projects. I'll show you those in just a second. I've got my tags, and then of course I have those branding strips. I am going to cut these off and then use them for the insides of my cards. You'll see what I'm able to make in just a second. Here are the scrap papers that I still have to work with, as well as one large sheet of strip paper. So here's what I have. It's about 7 by 12 on several size sheets. And then I have one little square that's I think like 7 by 7. So that's what I have. Stick around and you'll be able to see what I do with this. I also have this sticker sheet. Don't forget about that sticker sheet. So I'm going to use this, the rest of this collection, finish off my bag project, and then come back and show you everything that I was able to make with this one 12 by 12 paper pack for this 12 by 12 paper pack smash. Okay, so to recap, this was for #CraftyGoals2024. One of my goals is to smash large paper packs or pads. I have EchoPark's A Perfect Christmas. This was a brand new kit that I had in my stash. This is a 12 by 12 paper pack smash video. So I was able to use up all of the paper with the exception of just a few scraps. I'll show you in just a second. And pretty much all of the stickers, again, with the exception of just a couple. I'll show you all of that. Here is my sticker sheet. I did have a couple of those large strips left over. I cut them down into segments of 4. And I added them with the rest of my scraps. I had very few paper scraps, and really it was mostly the branding strips. You see here, it's pretty much all branding strips that come at the very bottom of the 12 by 12. Most people do not use that. I tend to save it because I often will either layer or use them in different versions of projects. I got 14 decorated Christmas gift bags that are ready for my stash for Christmas that I don't have to worry about making later. I added some twine and some of those tags that came with this paper pack. I've already glued all of the fronts. You can open the bag. I don't want to open it all the way because I want to keep it as flat as possible so I can store them ahead of the holidays. But I've already decorated them, and some of them don't have sentiments on the fronts, but that's okay because I have sentiments on all of the tags. So just a quick and easy project. Let me do a quick preview of what each of the bags looks like. Again, you saw these were blank craft colored bags that I just decorated with some very simple mats, and it really makes like a night and day difference as far as just having a little bit of additional pattern paper on the front. These are so easy. You just basically cut down the mats for the fronts of your bags, add a little cut apart, maybe add some bling with a little metallic cardstock, again 1/4 inch wider and longer, and then you add some tags. I added some generic little rustic twine that I got from Dollar Tree, and I was able to get 14 total bags that are ready for Christmas gifts. So again, 14 decorated Christmas gift bags from this kit. I also made some savings scratcher flips. These are very large. These are 3 by 5 and 5/8 wide, and then about 6.5 inches tall if you include the ring. So I cut down my paper, what I had left over. I laminated them. I added 5 scratchers on the fronts of each cards, and it equals $200 if you scratch all the fronts. And then I did add 2 gold scratchers on the back, and if you scratch all of those gold ones, it equals $70. The ranges are from $1 to $10 on these. These are savings challenges. You scratch all of them, you're going to get $270. You could do 2 separate games. Again, you could do all of the front for $200 or all of the back for $70. You've got, I think it's 49 total scratchers. I will put these in my Etsy shop. You should see them. I'll have a link down below as well in case you're interested, but these are very big. These are the biggest ones I've made so far to date. I also made 11 Christmas cards. So these are my scrap cards. I basically used the last little bit of cut-aparts, and I really went to town with the stickers. So I added stickers to the fronts as well as to the back, to the insides of my cards. You see there, I did layer a little bit of cardstock as well. Added some stickers here, layered some scraps, and I added added stickers to all of the insides of my cards. So that's a little tip for you. If you struggle with using your stickers that come in this pack, add them to the insides of your cards. They're automatically going to go with the paper that come in this pack because it was all designed to coordinate together. You see here I put a tag and I popped it up with some foam dimensional tape from Dollar Tree. But really adding just a few stickers to the inside really makes the card. And it really, I think it surprises the recipient because they're probably not expecting to see a little decoration on the inside. You see there, it just really brightens the inside of that card by having just a little bit of extra decoration on the inside. And so I did add a little bit of a thicker cardstock mat on that one. But again, I added stickers to all the insides of the cards, added some extra stickers on here and one additional cardstock mat on the front. Just super fun, super easy. I mean, these are just great little holiday cards. They didn't take very much, and I pretty much was using scraps, and I used that sticker sheet. So 11 total Christmas cards. I had one sticker left, so I just layered it up and made it like a little medallion embellishment that I can put on a bag, on a tag. I could put it on pretty much anything. It's better than me just keeping it on the sheet and not figuring out what to do. I just made a little embellishment. So this was a 12 by 12 paper pack smash. This was the A Perfect Christmas collection by Echo Park. I think it came out like a year or two ago, maybe 2 years, 3 years. This was for hashtag Crafty Goals 2024, where I am smashing my stash all year long. I hope you got a little bit of inspiration, everyone. Thanks so much for visiting. As always, happy crafting.